Now the floor to Mr. Chan Hoang Tung from Vietnam. He's the manager of Meey Land company. Please.
Good morning and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I hope that you are listening to me well. This slide gonna be not too general, but it will focus on very specific application of AI. So we in Meey Land, Meey Land is a company about, well, we are not selling real estate, but we are trying to develop technology and apply technology into the real estate. So in this slide, I'm talking about how we are using AI to estimate the price of real estate properties. So I will start with the introduction about the problems and the classical way for people to deal with the problems. And I will go a little bit about detail how we actually use AI to estimate the price of whatever properties. And I will briefly discuss about the challenges that we are dealing with. And finally, a short introduction about the whole products that we are developed at the Meey Land. So real estate estimate is the problem of trying to estimate the price of real estate properties. So for example, if you have a house or an apartment that you are not using yet, and you want to put it for rent, and you ask, okay, if I put that for rent, how much should I obtain for each month? Or let's say if you want to put it for sale, then how much would you get from that? So the classical way to answer that question, it's gonna be the most classical way is going to try to consult some experts, or you go to a real estate agencies, you give the detailed information about your house, and then you're gonna get wait for 1 or 2 days, and then you get that, okay, if the house put in for rent, you get that money, and the first sale you get that money. So in that case, you're gonna have to pay some price to pay a bit some money to get that information. Or you can try to find that information by yourself. You can walking around the area, asking people for if with that house, if you put for rent, you get how much for that. Or you can Google it. So basically, by that way, in the end, you have a rough estimation of how much you can get. But doing that, it's it will cost you time. So it's time consuming. So our aim is to try to develop an AI or a machine that when you put the input at some like the location of the house, the area, the number of bedrooms, and then it will analyze that information and then return the number. Let's say if you sell that, it will not be 500 million, well, for example. So that is the problem that we are trying to tackle in Meey Land, in this very specific real estate estimation. Another application could be, for example, if you have some money that you don't want to, you don't want to put it into the bank, and they wonder, okay, if I have 50,000, and which kind of apartment that I can buy, because in general, the price of the real estate will go up in the long term. So one way to save the money is to use that and buy an appropriate apartment, for example. So again, you can go to, if you want to have that information, you can go to the agencies, and with agency, obviously you have to pay some price to get that information. Or you can take a bike or a car and then go around and you look for the advertisement and you asking people for the apartment for sale and you negotiate. So again, in the end, it will either cost time or money to find the information. So if we can develop a system that can automatically do that, then it will save a lot of time and money. So in order to do that, in order to build a system that when you put some input, then it will return the price that for that properties, then the idea is that the assumption that we made is that similar house gonna have kind of similar price tags. So if you have two house with similar features and kind of close with each other, then the assumption is that the price of the first one should be not too far away from the second one. So in general, that assumption gonna be okay, well, acceptable. So based on the assumption, we try to construct a machine that can do two things. The first one is it will automatically decide the features that will be well represent the property styles. For example, here in this diagram, we take an analysis of the data that we have based on, let's look at that figure. It is the relationship between the area and the price per meter square. So look at that. The downtrend is quite clear. It means if the apartment have really big, if the area is very big, then the price per meter square gonna be quite small, and vice versa. If the area is quite small, then the price per meter square gonna be large. So based on data, we know that okay, if we want to estimate the price per meter square, then the area is a very important factor that we have to take into account. Yeah, I know that is common sense, but again, this data verify that common sense. More specifically, the machine can also do things like the number of bedrooms. For example, when we analyze the data, we see that the number of bedrooms is an important factor for determining the price of an apartment, but it has very small effect on pricing of a house. So if we want to evaluate the price of a house, then the number of bedroom is not an important factor. And vice versa with the house, then the gate direction, okay, the gate facing on the north or facing on the south will have really strong impact on the price of the house. So with AI, it could automatically select really good feature that appropriate for a certain property style. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that after determine good features, then it can automatically group similar property together. So let's say if you want to estimate the price of a properties, to give the information like the location is in Hanoi, the area is 50 meters square, it has 4 floors, something like that. So the machine will try to find 100, let's say, similar properties around that area, and then it plots the histogram, and based on that histogram, then you can kind of have a really good estimation of the price for that kind of apartment, of a house. So this is the proposal that we are building right now with the system we are running to try to estimate the price of properties. And that being said, within AI, there are two very components. The most important component is the data and the model. With model, we have no problems. We can use neural network, very model. We can use random forest, classical one. It works really well. But then to be able to have a really good system, then the data and the system, the model must both be really good. In these very specific problems, we have the most challenges things are in the data, because the data is kinda noisy. It's missing a lot of information. For example, here I have a table with some feature that are important when we want to evaluate the price of a properties, like the location, the number of bedrooms, the street width, the width that go in front of the house, the street width is also important factor with the area and floor. So that are own favor features. But then with the property A, we have a lot of feature, which is A is kind of easy to evaluate the price, to estimate the price. But for property B, well, it has only location, a rear and floor. Then with that one, it's like almost impossible to try to guess the price from that. So with our data, this happened a lot. So with that, we need to do interpolation. Well, we have to try to infer from somewhere, or we can ask. We have to come to the agencies. But in the end, the data is a huge problem here in our application. Also, this is a small map of Hanoi, Vietnam capital. And with Hanoi, we have a lot of information. We have many data here. But then if we go out of Hanoi, and then it's gonna be very rare properties here. So like the data is scratched from here to there. So with the reason that are very few data, almost impossible, really hard to try to estimate that. And also we have many type of real estate. We have renting apartment, we have trading house, we have trading villa. Only we have roughly 40 type of real estate. So in which each type, they are totally different from each other. So we have to develop each type a model to work well with that. So and in the future, actually, we are trying to also making use of the information from user. For example, if that property have missing information, then we can ask for user of Meey Land. Let's say one user say that, okay, I'm living close to that building. So the user can provide more information about that property to Meey Land. So we are trying to develop some other application to call for the information from user. And wow, so that a bit technical. And finally, there's a bit about Meey Land and Meey Group. We are a startup that trying to making use of the high technology, especially AI with artificial intelligence. And in the far future, we try to become let's say a Grab-like technology in real estate. That if you are a broker or a buyer or seller, and you will be connected really easily. You can pay if you have any money. You can use that to buy even a portion of the real estate. So in the far future, for now we are at the very first step of that long journey, but we are in the right track. And for now, we are developing in Meey Groups many other products like Meey CRM to manage the customer. We have Meey Map, in which we have the exact location of each land, and then we have Meey S to support for the advertisement of brokers. So that is my presentation. Jason, thank you for the attention.
Thank you, Mr. Tung. We know if we need to have some property in Hanoi or somewhere nearby, we definitely will go to the company. Thank you. Anyway, now please, Mr. Vladimir Krylov, the professor of High School of Economics and advisor of Artesia.
Someone.
Mute. Okay. Dear Chairman, dear distinguished participant of the forum, I would like to extend my thanks to the organizers for the opportunity to speak today. It will be not about project, it will